What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the WrestleGasm YouTube channel, where today we are here with episode 2 of my 0000 challenge on TEW 9 Fusion Pro Wrestling. First of all, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone for the support on the first episode. As of recording this, I only uploaded the episode yesterday, technically a day and a half ago, and it's already at like 500 views, and there's so many positive comments. So thank you guys for that. I know 500 might not seem like a lot to some people, but considering I haven't uploaded on this channel in over 2 years, I thought I'd kind of come back to a dead channel, but you guys are showing up, you guys are checking out the video, and that means the absolute world to me. Even if you just check out one video and decide not to come back, that still means the world to me that you gave it a shot. So thank you to everyone, big thank you to everyone who's sticking around. Hopefully this series is entertaining enough for you guys. And on that note, let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Episode 2, there's a couple things. I considered raising the ticket prices to very cheap, so that we can start getting that extra bit of income, but it still allows enough popularity kind of flow that we can increase that way as well. But I've decided to keep it at free tickets for now, on the basis that until we can start hiring more people per show and putting on more matches, I still want to try and book this realistically. And I think if it's a free show with 3 singles matches per card, which is all we can afford at the moment, then I think it kind of has to be a free show, as if this is at like a street festival or something like that. Once we can get more matches on the card, then I'll raise up the ticket prices a little bit. That being said, as the popularity is growing, the sponsorship is going to grow, and because, like, for example, if we have a look, like, yeah, we're still losing money every month, but it's taking over 100 off of our loss each time, so it won't take too long before we start making profit. Hopefully, I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully it won't take too long at all. That being said, the only other thing I'll mention before I get into this this event, Matt Cross, the indie wrestler who I absolutely adore. For anyone who doesn't know, he was like Son of Havoc on Lucha Underground. In the game, he just announced his retirement, and I was instantly like, because I'm a massive M-Dog fan. I met him in 2017, I want to say. Great guy. I was wearing like a DIY NXT shirt, and he commented on it instantly. So in the game he announced his retirement, and I wanted to sign him just for one night, just to have one match with him before he retires, but he was charging over $100, which at our level just we can't do. So I don't know, I thought that was an interesting little tidbit to share with you guys. Anyways, with that being said, we're going to jump into the next event, which is Fusion Pro Wrestling Live number 4. So let's get to it. Alright, so we have a clean 100 people in the Mid-South. FPW board member Vinny Massaro brings Sonico, Zeta Zhang, and Steven Wolf out of the ring. He tells them that throughout FPW's first few events, the 3 of them have solidified themselves as the pillars of the company. He said on the first show that those who helped lift this company up would be rewarded, and as Fusion Pro continues along its path, 3 of them are being eyed as the ones to light the way. But tonight, they must all be tested. They will all receive matches tonight, with the FPW board watching with keen interest. And up first is Steven Wolf, who has a challenge hand-selected specifically for him. He will be facing FPW's official new signing, his own tag team partner, Exodus Prime. So, generally speaking, this is no different to any other night. It's going to be 3 singles matches. Zeta's having a match, Sonico's having a match, Steven Wolf's having a match. First of all, we need to have a segment to push the storyline forward because the product requires it. And I think this solidifies that Zeta, Sonico, and Steven are the initial trinity of FPW. They're the people that we're building the promotion around in the early days. So it doesn't change, there's no drastic stakes with this one. The only kind of stakes is that Steven is facing Exodus Prime. I figured there's not really going to be a better opportunity to have the 2 tag team partners face off, and considering how few people we can get on these shows, I can't waste match combinations. So I don't want to say, okay, well, Steven and Exodus are tag team partners, so they're never going to face off, because that gets rid of a perfectly good match that we could be doing. So that's what's happening. That's up first. That would main event, because that's the only match tonight with any kind of context to it. So that would main event, but Stephen Wolf has main evented every single show so far, I think, if I remember correctly. So that's going to be the opener. But yeah, that's generally what this segment is. Vinny Massaro was very poor when trying to improvise dialogue. I didn't think to take him off improvisation. Zeta Zhang did not do well without a script to follow. She shouldn't have been speaking at all. I think I said no, like a non-speaking appearance for her, but I guess maybe I didn't. So an 18 doesn't seem great, but crowd heated and hot and rising. That's perfectly fine. And about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Exodus Prime defeated Stephen Wolf in 13-25 by pinfall. Now, we did have Exodus Prime on a one-night deal in the first show, so we knew coming into this that he wouldn't perform as well as Stephen Wolf. However, I still wanted to give Exodus Prime the win anyways, so that he could come in, pick up some momentum on his way in. Stephen had some momentum to sacrifice, and yeah, this one was not based on performance ratings, this was based on booking, I guess. So yeah, 34 wrestling rating. Was hoping for a little bit more, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, our second match of the night, and about that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Sonico defeated Eli Everfly in 11:06 by pinfall with an EMF, a 46 wrestling rating. This is officially our best match yet. Eli Everfly is on a one-night deal, but he's someone I wanted to sign initially. I wanted to get him and Delilah Doom and have Doomfly be a tag team, but then it came down to two things. One, Eli Everfly in the game is a negative backstage influence, which I don't really want, but I can deal with if I have to. The second thing is we can't afford to put on tag team matches right now, so I will absolutely look at Doomfly when the tag team division starts, but for right now, it's not a thing. But based on that 44 performance rating, I kind of have to look at Eli Everfly. You know what I might do? I'll give Delilah Doom a one-night deal on an upcoming show, see how she performs, and then we'll look at bringing them both in, I guess. But yeah, best match we've had so far. Main event, and about that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Zeta Zhang defeated Ryan Davidson in 17-14 by submission with a sleeper hold. Now, this one had a creative finish, which it says was a success. This is the first time we've been able to have a creative finish because for anyone who maybe missed it in the first episode, the booking team is my user character as well as Vinny Massaro. My user character I set to have 0 booking skill. That's essentially the 5th 0 of this 4-0 challenge. I just want that extra level of challenge, I guess. And then Vinny Massaro comes into it with I think 23. So we have barely any booking skill going into it. So it's taking us 4 events to build up enough creative energy to have a creative finish. And so I use it here because it gave it to Zeta Zhang. You can't really select who gets the creative finish, so it just automatically went to Zeta Zhang. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to have Stephen Wolf main event because he's main evented all of them. So if Zeta's got a creative finish, then I'll give it to her. But based on performances, it probably should have been Sonico in the main event. But I'm not complaining. Still both incredible matches. Ryan Davidson, again, is someone who I would love to try and sign. I just have to figure out what I want to do with him. So, finished the show. Gained pop. Disappointed. The storylines further during the show. What do you mean? I had the angle to all the right settings. Does there need to be a match maybe? I don't know. I'll look into that. But I had the angle set up right, I think. Address the locker room. We're gonna do okay. Sonico needs to be praised, and I think Zeta does as well. Was pleased with your speech. Was happy with your speech. Financial report. Okay, so we're at almost negative 2,500. We're up to 3 pop. Alright. Gonna head to the main screen now. If there's anything on the main screen to look at, I'll show you guys. If not, I will see you guys on FPW Live number 5. Alright, so we are back with Fusion Pro Wrestling Live 5. We have 105 people in attendance. Vinny Massaro opens the show and brings Stephen Wolf out. He reminds Wolf that those who help lift FPW up are going to be rewarded. And with Wolf, Zeta, and Sonico being the ones to lead the way, like he said last month, FPW intends on rewarding them by allowing them to compete in a three-way match for FPW's first championship next month. That's why they were being tested. Unfortunately, Wolf failed that test when he lost to Exodus Prime, so that leaves his spot in question. AlphaZo comes out and says that he has worked tirelessly to be the best he can for FPW and deserves that opportunity as much as the other three. Realizing the potential, Masaru determines that tonight's main event will be a battle between Wolf and Zo, with the winner facing Sonico and Zhang to crown our first champion next month. So, a bit to unpack here. Firstly, obviously the description of the segment is very brief, but in the actual segment, there'd be more discussion, there'd be more in-depth kind of conversations about who deserves what. When it comes to AlphaZo, obviously the reason we didn't really put him in the Trinity is because or make him one of the pillars, I guess, is because his performance are really good. They're just not on the level of Stephen Wolf, Sonico, and Zeta Zhang. But from a booking perspective, there's really no reason for him to not be there. But it raises the questions, and this would have been discussed in the segment, things like Stephen Wolf and AlphaZo fought on the first ever FPW show. This is going to be the first repeat match. Stephen Wolf won that match, right? So you got a question like, should AlphaZo really get a shot if Stephen Wolf is the other contender? Because Stephen's already proven he can beat AlphaZo. But then it becomes the thing of, AlphaZo went on to, I think he won every other match he's had for FPW since then, which he wasn't on the fourth show, so that's only two other matches. But one of those matches was against one of the contenders, Sonico. So AlphaZo has earned himself the kind of contendership here. So it's going to be AlphaZo, it's going to be Stephen Wolf in the main event. The other thing to keep in mind here is Stephen Wolf has actually lost more than he's won. He's put on great performances, sure, but he's lost more than he's won. He beat AlphaZo in the first show, but then he lost back-to-back to both the other contenders, Sonico and Zeta Zhang, and then he lost to his tag team partner, Exodus Prime. So, there's, both of these guys have a lot to fight for here, basically, is the point I'm trying to get at. But a 31 rated segment to open the show is pretty dang good. I can't lie there. There's a couple of things to unpack here. One of them I'm going to unpack at the end of the show. The other one I will mention right now is there is a reason I didn't put in the text what the name of the championship is. That's because I want to explain the championship when it debuts in the next event, which will be this episode, by the way. I'm doing 3 events per episode. But there's a very specific reason that the name of the championship hasn't been stated. So, in about that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Sonico defeated Lowrider in 10-16 by pinfall with an EMF. A 49 rating. Sonico is our star. Sonico is our top performing guy without a shadow of a doubt. So I need to start booking him to be the main guy. I keep putting him in the circle of being one of the top guys, but then I don't book him in the main events, right? I'm leaving that for Stephen Wolf because I was going to say I have a story for him, but there's not a lot of a story, really. There's not a storyline going on at all, really. But yeah, a 50-rate performance from Sonico, you'd love to see it. Lowrider's on a one-night deal, but I might have to sign him based on that performance as well. They have great chemistry, and this is officially our best match yet. In a decent match, Exodus Prime defeated Delilah Doom in 9:47 by submission. Didn't expect anything tremendous out of this, but as I said in the last event, I wanted to give Delilah Doom a match to test her out so I could look at potentially bringing in Doomfly once we have a tag team division. She didn't do great compared to Eli Everfly, but still enough for me to want to do Doomfly as a team. Now, we're about to jump into the main event. AlphaZo, Stephen Wolf for the final spot, but it's kind of obvious. It's not going to beat that first match, right? Let's be honest. Is it going to come close, though? I will take that. And about that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Stephen Wolf defeated AlphaZo in 15:56 by pinfall with a treaty breaker of 43. So Stephen Wolf wins once again. Look, I was never going to put AlphaZo in that match, but I want him to... from a game perspective, from a TEW perspective, we understand why he's not in that top 3, right? He hasn't had a performance above 40 yet. or he hasn't cracked the 40s. Like 39 he's top 1, whereas everyone else is in the 40s. Now Sonico's in the 50s, so Alphazo was never going to be in that match, but from a canon perspective, a kayfabe perspective, he should be there. So that's kind of what this is. So yeah, 43, obviously not as good as the Sonico match, but still really happy with it regardless. Can't complain about that. So if we finish the show, increase our pop in one region. I've always got to remember to differentiate the wrestling rating and the segment rating, because the segment rating is what matters. So, alright, address the locker room. Now, obviously, Zeta Zhang wasn't here this month because I didn't want to do the same system of the the 3 pillars all getting one-on-one matches. I wanted to change it up a bit, so I was like, okay, I'll give either Sonico or Zeta Zhang a break, and I decided to give it to Zeta. So Sonico, as usual, has to be praised. Like that's a given. And then I guess, yeah, by default, Stephen Wolf. Happy with the speech, seemed pleased. Financial report, we're at negative 2,700. Popularity recap, we're now at 4. Okay, cool. Well, we'll have a proper look at the finances at the end of the episode, which is after the next event. Now, speaking of the next event, I'm going to explain what it is real quick before we advance. 2 things, actually. Firstly, this event, I have FPW Live set to be the last Saturday of every month. So this should have been the 31st of May, but the 23rd is also a Saturday, and I went with that just because that's my birthday, so I was like, you know what, it'll be fun to do that. That's beside the point. What is the point is that FPW Live number 6, I'm going to experiment with it a bit. I said earlier in the episode that we're going to keep running the free shows for a while, but I want to try one show, just one, where we put very cheap ticket prices so that we do get an income from that. Obviously the attendance isn't going to be quite as good, but we do get a ticket price income, and in order to do that I am going to try and expand the card a bit, maybe add a 4th match, maybe a tag team match. Well, actually not a tag team match, we've got the triple threat. So FPW Live number 6 is going to be the first full-on event, whereas all the others have been street shows basically. So yeah, my kind of reason for wanting to try it is because I want to see with the income, if we just do one show like that, I want to see how our finances for that month differ from other months, because if it earns us more income than other months, I might as well just jump up to the ticket shows, so that's what we're going to do. FPW Live number 6 is going to be experimental, but I'm excited for it. We're going to crown our first champion. It's going to be Zeta Zhang, it's going to be Sonico, it's going to be Stephen Wolf. I'm looking forward to it. I will see you guys there. We're here for Fusion Pro Wrestling Live 6. This is the last event of the episode, and as I said before, we're charging people for tickets for this one, which means we're putting on an extra match, we're putting on a championship match. We're trying to treat this one like it's a legitimate event and not just a street show. So by default, that makes this the biggest event we've ever done, but that's still a pretty low bar. So we've got 4 matches on the card. All the local workers on this show are ones we've used before. It's the ones who kind of got the highest performance ratings, so we're trying to, just trying to put on the strongest card we can. So we have 95 people in attendance, which is really good. Like I expected more of a decrease now that we're charging for tickets, but it is what it is. In about that, had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Exodus Prime defeated Eli Everfly in 10:46 by submission. We had to bring back Eli Everfly. Like, his performance is great. Similarly, Lowrider is on the show as well. He did amazing. Yeah, so there's no angle to start off this show. We're just going straight into it because we don't need an angle this time. The storyline is set up and we have an extra match, so we're good. Yeah, really happy with that opener. In a decent match, Rachel Rose defeated Delilah Doom in 10-12 by submission. They don't click at all. That's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. They're both local workers. Rachel Rose we haven't seen since the first event. Delilah Doom was at the latest one. Yeah, not a lot to be said about this one. In about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Alpha Zoe defeated Lowrider in 9:47 by submission. Alpha Zoe with a 46. If he had been getting this kind of rating for all of his other matches, he would be in the championship match tonight. But he hasn't been getting those ratings, so he's here having a singles bout with Lowrider. But still a really impressive match. The segment rating being a 41 is awesome. But it's main event time. I know we've moved through this event quite quickly, but that's because there's no angles to do. So we're going to jump straight into the main event. Fingers crossed this will be a good one. Yeah, it's an amazing one. And about that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Sonico defeated Zeta Zhang and Stephen Wolf in 16:36 when Sonico pinned Stephen Wolf with an EMF. Sonico wins the FPW World Championship. Couple things to mention here. Firstly, every single wrestler in this match got in the 50s. That is awesome. Now, I mentioned in the last event that I was specifically not addressing the name of the championship, so you may be looking at the title being called FPW World Championship and be like, well, why is that such a big deal? It's because I'm assigning value to the name, because if we're a very small-time indie fed that's doing street shows, up until this one obviously, having your main title be called the world title don't make a lot of sense, because it is not on a world level. Right, and that's something that's always kind of confused me when an indie show will have a world championship. Like, go for like heavyweight or something like that. But the reason we're calling our main title the World Championship is because that is the goal, that is the aspiration. This will become a world level championship. So that's why we're giving it this name. Sonico is the first champion. I kind of couldn't not give it to Sonico because Zeta and Stephen Wolf have been incredible, but Sonico has been outdoing them every single week. Not by much, as you can see by those ratings there, but Sonico has been exceptional. So he is our first ever FPW Fusion Pro Wrestling World Champion. So let's go ahead and finish the show. Okay, so I need to kind of fully understand the deal with the differences between wrestling rating and segment rating, because the wrestling rating in the main event far exceeded the Alpha Zone match, but the segment rating is the same. So, okay, I'll have to figure out the specifics of how to go about that. But 41 overall rating, increased our pop in one region. So we finished the show, addressed the locker room. Sonico has to be praised. I know he's got more than enough praise already, but that needs to happen. And then I think, who do I give it to? Because Stephen Wolf and Zeta Zhang got the same level. I think I'll give it to Stephen just because Zeta's gotten a few more appraisals. Okay, so very happy, was pleased. Financial report. Okay, so post-show finances, we lost relatively around the same amount. Well, actually, no, I don't know if that's true. I don't remember what the overall loss was. My mind just went straight to the post-show finances, and that's not that far off. But if we go popularity recap, that didn't get us anything. Okay, so maybe we need to stick to the free tickets. Maybe. Although, you know, I don't think we do, because it was only a couple people less than last month. So, alright, I'm going to jump back to the main screen. That was the last event of the episode, so we're going to jump back. We're going to check our progress in terms of finances and whatever else may be. And yeah, I will see you guys there. Alright, we're back. It is now July, which means we're now half a year into the game. We've got the award winners so far, which I want to have a look at before we get into the finances. Although I have noticed Tajiri has now officially retired. He is someone I would have signed to have like a single match with us on his like retirement tour, but alas, that is not the case. So we have a look. Male wrestler of the year is Mascara Dorada. Company's WWE. Female tag team, we have Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, sure, I guess. Male tag team, we have Protostar. Match of the year, Cody vs. Trick Williams, Elimination Chamber. Okay. Show of the year was Backlash. Young male wrestler is Futuro. Look at Futuro. Oh, he's $500. Female wrestler Roxanne, love to see it. Male veteran is Mystico. Female veteran is Asuka. Why is the female wrestler of the year so low? Anyways, it's Io Sky, deserved. Independent male is Dr. Wagner Jr., a grand. Oof. Female independent is Lady Shani. A lot of Lucha Libre in these awards so far. You love to see it. But yeah, I wanted to have a quick look at that. But now, I've got to have a look at this. Okay, we made money doing that. We did actually make some money. So maybe we don't do the street shows anymore. Maybe we start charging tickets more often, because look, the sponsorship's just going to keep going up, right? That's going to go up the more popularity we gain, and we're still going to gain good popularity with the very cheap tickets, just there might be some shows every so often where we don't gain a popularity point. If we're missing one every so often, it's no big deal. I think considering it brings in an extra 285 bucks, that's absolutely worth it, because the sponsorship and the ticket sales are proving fruitful here. So I think we're officially moving into doing full-on events and not just street shows, which is not something I expected to do this early, but it's a huge step in the right direction. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. And then, of course, Sonico is our first world champion. I don't have a picture for the title. I don't know what I'm going to do in regards to a picture. I'm not great at art, so I can't just go ahead and make one. I'm definitely not using AI for it. I suppose I could maybe make one in like 2K25 and screenshot it. I don't know. I'll think of something. If you guys have any ideas of how I can make a cool looking title belt, then please do let me know. But yeah, we had our first champ. And we're now halfway through 2026. That's what our creative meeting is looking like so far. Zayda Zhang being on top, that's really cool actually. I always like to have a look at hidden gems. We'll do that real quick. Okay, a couple changes. Kamaru Jackson, 30 bucks. He's in Great Lakes. Is that too far? That might be too far. I don't know. Anyways, that's it. That's all for this episode. We have now finished 6 live events, and we're in the profit-making area, I guess. As long as nothing crazy happens, we're gonna hopefully start making some money from here on out. It's gonna take us a little while to get out of debt, because we did accumulate a decent sum of debt during all those months, but it was necessary. It was a necessary hurdle to overcome, and we're at the point where we've made the leap and we're clearing the hurdle, but we're making the descent back down to the ground now, and we won't land until we're out of the red. So that does it for this episode. I once again want to thank you guys so much for all the support on the first episode. It really does mean the absolute world to me. I had so much fun today going through all the comments, responding to you guys, and then every time I would come back to YouTube throughout the day, there were even more comments, and it meant the absolute world to me. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. If you're not, please let me know why. I'm open to criticism. If there's anything you think I should be doing different, whether it's about the way I book or the way I make the videos, whatever the case may be, let me know. I'm open to anything and everything. That being said, I'm also open to suggestions and goals in regards to the game. If there's anyone you want me to try and sign, anything you think I should try and accomplish, absolutely anything, let me know. I'm open to it all. But yeah, that is FPW Live 4, 5, and 6. We have our first champion, and I am so excited to see where we go from here. So thank you guys very much for joining me. I do appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.